Everyone, welcome to 1732 Streaming's Freedom Circuit. I'm JK, and I will be your host tonight. My brother will not be on tonight. He's working out in California, but we'll get him on live stream here eventually, CP. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. And if you guys don't mind, like and subscribe if you don't mind here on Rumble, if you're on Rumble or any platform that you happen to be watching on, and especially on Facebook as well. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you don't mind. I'm trying to bring some people over to Rumble. It seems to be the best platform for streaming. And also, if you guys don't mind, drop comments. That helps the audience out quite a bit, and it helps me out as well. We're not going live right now because I don't have enough people watching me live, but I get a lot of people watching the video afterwards. But if I build up viewership, we'll start going live again. So, because I really do enjoy that. But yeah, if you guys don't mind, go ahead and follow. You can follow us on Rumble at 1732 Streaming. You can follow us on YouTube at 1732 Streaming. And you can follow us on Twitch, JK1732A. So let's go ahead and get started. And my internet's a little wonky tonight, guys, so we're not going to have the news down in the bottom left like we usually do. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and turn that off real quick. So yeah, but if I happen to see something breaking, we'll talk about it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So locally in Virginia, let's just do a brief, quick thing here real quick. I don't know if it's made the national news, but we had a 30 train rail derailment, 30 cars derailed in a county called New Kent. It's apparently in the middle of nowhere, destroyed a bridge. Nobody was hurt, but 30 coal cars were derailed, and it has cut off Amtrak, which is, I'm sure, Amtrak's nationwide. It is effectively from Richmond to Newport News, where our naval bases are. It's completely cut the rail services out. They're out until they can get that fixed, or I guess a temporary solution. I don't know. It's pretty developing. It happened yesterday. So imagine that. A good chunk of the state's actually cut off for rail services. Now, regular obviously flight and ground are still good to go, but you can only imagine when we have these naval bases down here that could affect moving supplies and stuff around. So I just thought that'd be interesting if you want to look it up. I see Reese walking in. If y'all, that's kind of interesting. If y'all wanted to go look at some articles about that, you can go check it out. It's just look at train derailment in Virginia. I'm sure it'll pop up. But like I said, it's in New Kent County. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on here to, okay, so this will lead into the government shutdown. But right now, so our Governor Glenn Youngkin, Republican, has declared a state of emergency due to SNAP benefits running out from the government shutdown. So you can see how it's going to lead into the government shutdown here in a little bit. Now, I found this very interesting, and I did not know that there are this many people in Virginia that had SNAP benefits. 850,000 people rely on SNAP benefits in Virginia. That is crazy. I think that's a bigger issue. I'm almost certain there's quite a few of those that don't need SNAP benefits. But that being said, 850,000 Virginians are going to lose their SNAP benefits, which is, obviously going to affect food. So the governor declared a state of emergency in Virginia, and by doing that, it allows allows the state to free up funds to make sure that these benefits continue by the state. So the state of Virginia is going to take care of it, I guess, until the government can get opened back up and SNAP gets reinstated. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And this is all because the Democrats, in the federal government, in the U.S. Senate will not vote for this clean CR. I mean, we're going on 12, 13, 14 tries now, and they're still not voting for this clean CR that, has been voted on numerous times by the Democrats, and they have approved it numerous times. So, and I don't know, I can't remember what day we're at right now, but, we're approaching a month. So it's already, if I'm not mistaken, one of the longest shutdowns, full shutdowns. There have been partial shutdowns. The longest full shutdown in our at least recent history, but I think our entire history. So yeah, that's and I think I have an article here real quick about that. So let's take a look here. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. So just a brief little article. So that's from WFXR Fox. I'm not sure where they're at. They're probably in Newport News or something like that. That's not where I'm from. So, but that's definitely in Virginia. So yeah, Youngkin declares state of emergency for 850,000 Virginian SNAP beneficiaries. That is a crazy amount of people in Virginia. Now, Virginia does have a decently high population, being on the East Coast and everything like that, and close to DC and all that good stuff. But I still think that's a lot of people that are on SNAP benefits. So yeah, these Democrats need to get together, man. I'm sick and tired of hearing oh, the Republicans control the House and the Senate and the presidency. Yeah, well, they voted to keep the government open. The Democrats are the ones that are keeping us from opening it. So that'll lead right into the government shutdown. So let's go ahead and move right into that. So I have a couple of screenshots here that I'm going to show you guys. The first one's going to be this one's from Newsmax. It's a screenshot of three airline units urged the Democrats to support the GOP's clean CR resolution and reopen the government. So that one here, sorry guys, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, so three major pilot unions are urging Congress to end the federal government shutdown by approving the Republican backed continuing resolution to fund operations. Let's see, the Coalition of Airline Pilots Association, the Net Jets Association of Shared Aircraft Pilots, and the Allied Pilots Association. So, I'm not familiar with the political leanings of these unions, but typically unions don't, urge the Republicans, or support Republicans. So, this is a big deal that they want this done. So, I also have something here on, let me pull that up here real quick. Just an article from whitehouse.gov. So let me pull that up. Here we go. And I know you guys don't see me in the corner here, so I apologize about that. But you can see the association representing the biggest airlines, including American Airlines, Delta, Southwest, and United Airlines, issue a new statement urging a swift resolution through the Republicans' clean, nonpartisan bill. And here you can see statements from American Airlines, and then here's some of the coalitions that we were talking about, and then Southwest Airlines. It's crazy, and you can go into this article, and it talks about the safety of the airways and stuff like that. Because, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. Because we have a busy travel holiday coming up, the busiest that we see every year nationwide. Thanksgiving holidays, and they're urging that there's going to be some major delays because of the shutdown, all because the Democrats want to fund illegals or transitions or whatever, which is, asinine, but I guess we are where we are. But yeah, I mean, so if you guys are out there, you follow up with your representatives, man, and if they happen to be a Democrat, urge them to open the government and remind them that they've already voted for this numerous times and have passed it. It's a Biden budget, for God's sake, so I don't know why they wouldn't be happy with it. But yeah, so that's that. Now here's another thing that I found interesting about the government shutdown. So this is from Breitbart. Let me pull this up real quick. So let's listen to Democrat Representative Catherine Clark. Let's listen to her real quick. Let's hear what she has to say. I think this is interesting, and I think it's important. So let's pull that up real quick. Here it is. Let's listen.
And of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leverage times we have. I mean,
Okay, so they're using family suffering as leverage, just like she said. It's one of the few leverages we have is family suffering. That is evil. So you're completely okay with family suffering just to leverage your wants and needs. That is ridiculous. And your ideas. I don't know that if you went in the middle of an urban city and said that in front of a population that they'd be too proud about that. You might not be able to walk out without security because I don't know, man. That's just evil. You're wanting to leverage people suffering to get what you want. That's evil. Yeah, that's just pure evil. That just goes to prove, man, that Trump derangement syndrome is a thing, man. If this was not Trump, if this was any other president, it doesn't matter, pick one, Republican or Democrat, this would have already been passed. Government would be open, things would be going, business as usual. So, I mean, it's Trump derangement syndrome, plain and simple. There's no way around it. I mean, they can't tell you why they're not passing it right now. They have an agenda and they're just pushing it through right now. They're trying to push it through. I don't think the Republicans are going to budge. I don't think they're going to budge one bit. I think they're going to stand tall on this, and I think they should. And unfortunately, I think there's going to be some people that suffer for it, and eventually, a lot of us will, have some issues coming from it as well. I don't travel by air much, but I know a lot of people do, and that's going to affect traveling. That's going to affect business, and I'm assuming eventually, if it's not already, it's going to affect freight, air freight and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I thought that was just absolutely evil. Um, and what do you guys think? Do you think you think she's got your best interests at heart? Let me know. Drop a comment if you don't mind. Do you think she's looking out for the little guy? Do you think she's looking out for you, or is she looking out for the the party's interest and not the people's interest? Democrats, full loyalty to the party no matter what. No loyalty to the people, only loyalty to the party. That's what they believe at the end of the day. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing here. So okay, I put out a 2 minute short yesterday, and if you have not gone through and watched that, I find it kind of hilarious and funny. So I'll go ahead and just touch on it very briefly right now, since that 2 minute short's out there. So let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. Let me see here. Where is it at? Sorry, guys, I got to do all this by myself, so it's sometimes it takes me a minute to get everything pulled up here. Where'd my full screen go? Okay, full screen. All right, so while you're looking at this right here, you will see that it is the history of the White House. Oh, there I am. Sorry, guys. History of the White House. So, and obviously, we'll go through this here. You'll see the timeline. And obviously, this timeline was created for a couple of reasons. Donald Trump is obviously trolling the left. And for another, it's just proving that renovations to the White House have been happening since its history. It's not uncommon for a president to go in there and change things at the end of the day. So, I mean, you can see here, they're talking about the 1700s, the 1800s, design plans, rebuilding after 1812, addition of the South Portico, North Portico, addition of the West Wing, Oval Office, Rose Garden, East Wing, which is the part that's been torn down, and total reconstruction, and that was during World War II or after World War II, I believe. Briefing room. Okay, so this is where it gets funny. 1998 Bill Clinton scandal. 2012 Muslim Brotherhood visit President Obama. Tennis pavilion, that was Melania Trump. Cocaine discovered in the White House. There's Hunter Biden there look at him. He looks as happy as can be. Trans Day of Visibility. And then, the flagpoles that Trump donated, Rose Garden renovations, office renovations, and East Wing renovations. Yeah, so clearly, looking at this timeline, obviously, I think the administration is trolling the left right now. I think it's hilarious. I think they should keep doing it. But also, it kind of shows that, sanity has now been restored. That was a little crazy there, some of these things going on in the White House, when these Democrats were president. So, yeah, that's just a quick thing on the White House renovation. Not being paid by the taxpayers, it's being paid by donors, which is amazing. We don't have to pay for it. I have no problem with it. I'm not paying for it at the end of the day, and I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to look nice. I don't think, I mean, I'll never visit it, but it's we're the strongest nation on the planet. We should have probably a nice ballroom where we can host people. The current area they use right now, I think, only seats 200. This will bring it up to, I believe, it was 999. You can have real state dinners and stuff like that there. So I have no problem with that. But let me know what you guys think if you don't mind. Go ahead and drop some comments. Let me know if you're okay with this or if you think it's a little too much. Should we not be doing this? But, give me your opinions. I really like to hear from you guys. All right. So just another quick blurb here on trade. So Canada runs a false ad. And I'm sorry I didn't pull it up. I have seen it. A false ad showing Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. Reagan never spoke negatively about tariffs. That's not what that ad is showing. It's absolutely ridiculous and asinine. We know how important tariffs are, and we're seeing it right now. It's being dumped into our economy. It's fantastic for everybody. So, in response to that, Trump suspended all trade negotiations with Canada. FAFO, Canada. If you don't know what that means, look it up. I'm not going to say it on air. FAFO. You guys are going to poke the bear, and that's the response you're going to get. I'm sorry, Canada. Canada lives freely only because of America being so gracious. Canada wouldn't be a thing without America. Canada cannot defend itself at the end of the day. I'm sorry, they can't. There's no way if somebody wanted to invade them, If it wasn't for the United States, they'd be off the map and they'd be something else right now. That's just the way it is. So yeah, now a couple things I wanted to show you guys here real quick before we wrap it up for today is, let me see if I can find it here real quick. Here we go. Okay. So Don Jr., going back to the White House renovations, good old Don Jr. Um, so Chelsea Clinton, and I'll go ahead and just read it to you here real quick. Chelsea Clinton put out a tweet, like, or X or whatever they are, post on X. Uh, the erasure of the East Wing isn't about marble or plaster. It's about President Trump again taking a wrecking ball to our heritage while targeting our democracy and the rule of law. What a jackass. Coming from the Clinton, she's got a lot to talk about, let me tell you. Donald Trump Jr. responded to her, and this is on his X account, so you can go back and look at it. There's a screenshot of it. Laugh out loud. Your parents tried stealing furniture and silverware from the White House. And let's not talk about the intern. Sit this one out. Guys, this is what we should have been doing all the time. This is what conservatives and the GOP should have been doing since day one. We should be firing back. We used to take everything sitting down, trying to be civil, and you know what? I think we're kind of past that. I think we respond in kind. We should be responding to mean tweets. We should be responding to false accusations. And yeah, let them have it, man. I mean, at the end of the day, let them have it. I mean, they're not clean. They're not innocent. And they lie. They lie at the end of the day. So, guys, that's all I have for you right now. I know it's kind of a shorter podcast, but I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you don't mind, subscribe. You can follow us on Rumble at 1732 Streaming. You can follow us on YouTube at 1732 Streaming. And you can follow us on Twitch, JK1732A. And if you don't mind, since we're not doing live right now, if you could just drop some comments for me, I'd really appreciate it. I'll try to engage with you guys and respond to those. And if I've made any mistakes, call me out on it so I can redact it and issue corrections on the next podcast. I'm more than willing to do that as long as it's true. So yeah, guys, y'all have a good one, and don't forget to like and follow. I really appreciate you guys. Keep your head on a swivel as always, and I'll see you next time. Peace.